Squaddies, yo, we gotta talk about Prince Harry's yoga moment today because the man went full downward dog and honestly, it is the best thing on the internet right now. While most public figures are sweating bullets trying to look absolutely flawless 24/7, Harry completely threw the rulebook out the window. The man is not afraid to look straight up ridiculous if it means putting a massive smile on a kid's face. Let's keep it real. Your typical royal or high-profile celebrity is way too uptight for this. They're constantly policing their image, worrying about the cameras and making sure their suits don't wrinkle. Not Harry. If it takes letting a goat climb onto his back, getting absolutely blasted with water balloons, or scrambling through an inflatable obstacle course to make a grieving child laugh, he is 100% down for the cause. That tells you everything you need to know about where his head is at. He's not sitting there calculating, oh, does this look regal? Will the palace approve of this posture? Nah. His only thought is, are these kids having a blast today? He puts the kids' happiness way above his own ego. Think about it from a regular human perspective. Most adults are completely boring because they're terrified of looking stupid in public. We get old and we get stiff, but kids do not give a single care about your dignity or your fancy titles. They remember the people who actually dug down into the dirt and made them laugh. 20 years from now, these kids aren't going to remember which royal wore the neatest outfit or gave the most boring speech. They're going to look back and say, Prince Harry did yoga with us and it was hilarious. But that's only half the story, because underneath all the goofy yoga poses and the laughing, Harry understands these children on a level that most people out here ever could. This isn't just some random corporate charity appearance to check a box. The man actually knows exactly what childhood grief feels like. Let's look at the facts. These kids lost their parents, mums and dads who served their country and made the ultimate sacrifice. And Harry, he went through the exact same nightmare losing his mum when he was just a young kid. Sure, every single person's grief hits a little differently, but he knows that specific heavy feeling when your entire world flips upside down overnight. That's why military charities aren't just a PR stunt for him, they are stuck to his heart. It's why he keeps pulling up year after year, putting in real FaceTime instead of just sending a check from a distance. The connection is instant. Think about it from a street-level perspective. Kids have the most insane built-in radar for fake people. They can smell a phony from a mile away, but when Harry walks into the room, they lock in. So I gotta ask you guys, drop a comment on this. Do you think children can tell when an adult genuinely understands the heavy stuff they're going through? Because watching him interact with them, it's crystal clear they see him as one of their own, not some distant prince. He's someone who walked that exact dark path and came out the other side. And that's exactly why today's event felt so different.
Prince Harry isn't just dropping by Scotty's little soldiers for a quick PR photo op. The man is a legitimate part of their journey. There is a massive night and day difference between a celebrity doing a one-off charity gig and someone who is actively woven into the fabric of these kids' lives over a long stretch of time. That changes absolutely everything. Look, out here on the street level, kids notice exactly who shows up and who actually comes back. Anyone can pull up to a festival for an hour, flash a pearly white smile for the cameras, and vanish back into a limousine. But when someone keeps returning to the exact same room year after year, that is where real, unbreakable trust starts to grow. And that is precisely what Harry has pulled off with Scotty's little soldiers. He's been backing these military families since way back in 2017. So when he became their global ambassador, it wasn't just a fancy, empty title to slap on a corporate letterhead. It was a reflection of a real, ongoing promise. A huge number of these kids have literally watched Harry grow with them, showing up at their events time and time again. He doesn't roll up acting like some distant, untouchable royal guest who is too grand to mingle. He jumps right into the chaos, plays the games, throws the water balloons, and sits down to have real, deep conversations with the families. Think about your own life for a hot second. When you were growing up, you probably didn't remember every single random adult who walked through your school gym or community center to give a generic speech, but you definitely remember the ones who kept showing up. The football coach who never missed a rainy practice, the teacher who stayed late after class to help you figure it out, the family friend who always made sure to check in on you. Consistency builds trust, period. It's a basic human truth that children understand implicitly without anyone ever having to explain it to them. So I gotta leave you guys with a powerful question, and I want you to really sound off in the comments on this one. What actually leaves a bigger, more permanent impact on a child? One massive, perfectly rehearsed speech, or someone who simply keeps showing up for them year after year? Because from where I'm sitting, Harry's actions speak a whole lot louder than words. He's doing the real work, and you love to see it. And that's the difference right there. Anyone can roll up to a charity event once, take a few clean photos for the press, and pretend they care for an hour. But out here in the real world, consistency is the only thing that actually counts. Harry didn't just suddenly discover military families this week because he needed a quick public relations boost. The guy has been down in the trenches with veterans and bereaved military children for years. Today's event wasn't some random pop-up, it's just the latest chapter in a book he's been writing for a decade. Look at the track record. You've got the Invictus Games, his deep-rooted bond with Scotty's full soldiers, his constant work for veteran support, and his massive push for mental health resources. This isn't a temporary hobby, it is a long-term, rock-solid commitment. Let's break it down to street level. Absolutely anybody can hop online, type out a nice polished message, or slap a hashtag on a post to look good. But getting up, flying across the world, and physically showing up for the exact same communities year after year, that is where the real work starts. That's how you build true trust. These families know he's not going anywhere, and that means more than any headline ever could. The man is all action, no fluff. What do you guys think about Harry's long-term hustle with these causes? And let's be totally honest about how the internet works. That viral goat yoga clip was absolutely hilarious, but a lot of people are completely missing the bigger picture here. We all know how social media goes. The internet loves a quick, funny clip. Millions of people are going to watch a goat literally climb onto Prince Harry's back, laugh, share it, and move on. But way fewer people are actually going to stop and read about Scotty's little soldiers. And that is the real shame, because that charity is the absolute beating heart of this entire story. But look at the flip side. There is a method to the madness. Humor is the ultimate cheat code for getting people to pay attention. Sometimes you need that one wild, funny moment to make regular people care about a cause they would have normally just scrolled right past. Once you get them laughing and locking into the video, boom, now they're learning about these incredible military kids who lost their parents. That is how you use the power of social media the right way. Harry is basically using his own massive star power and a little bit of goofy comedy as a Trojan horse to shine a giant spotlight on the people who actually need it. And maybe that's Harry's biggest strength. And that is how Harry has completely rewritten the rulebook on what modern public service looks like. Today's event had absolutely zero to do with stuffy royal traditions and 100% to do with real human connection. Think about how the old guard does it. They stand behind a giant podium, read a dry 30-page speech written by a team of interns, and cut a ribbon with some oversized scissors. Boring. Harry? He was out there laughing, playing, listening, and actually making real memories with these kids. He wasn't hiding behind a title. He was fully in the dirt. Because let's keep it a buck, public service doesn't have to happen inside a massive drafty palace. Sometimes real-world impact happens on a muddy field with some kids and a bunch of goats. It doesn't need to be polished, perfect, or packaged neatly for a corporate press release to change someone's life. Think about your own favorite teacher growing up. It definitely wasn't the strict, uptight one who wore the tweed jacket and yelled about deadlines. It was the one who actually joked around with you, played football with the class during lunch break, and made the whole day feel fun. That is exactly the kind of energy Harry brought to the table today. No fancy titles, no grand ceremonies, no royal protocol. Just a guy willing to get a little muddy, laugh at himself on camera, and make sure that kids carrying some of the heaviest burdens imaginable got a day where they could simply breathe and be kids. And honestly, sometimes that's the exact kind of public service that regular people are going to remember the longest. That's how you lead by example, period. What do you guys think about Harry's hands-on approach? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want to keep up with the realistics on the internet. Thank you all for watching, supporting the channel, and keeping it real. I am your host, Miles. Catch you in the next one.